Penguin Random House Audio presents The Listeners, a novel by Maggie Stiefvater. Read for you by Erin Bennett. For Richard, who dreamt of the Avalon. There's one thing you'll never find in a good hotel: an argument. The Hotel Monthly, January 1940. December 7th, 1961. Gillian Pennybacker, Lodge 3, William and Mary Campus. Dear Miss Pennybacker, this is the story of the hotel I mentioned at the party, the magnificent building with the magical water beneath it. I thought you would appreciate your father's role in it. Chin up, see? Miracles do happen. Warmly, Eric Parnell, U.S. State Department, Washington, D.C. Part 1. Upstairs. Order. Room 411. 131, 1942. New York Times, Vogue, Britannia and Eve, Mode and Travaux, 2 lemons, 2 croissants, 2 yards mustard wool, sample attached, 1 yard printed cotton, sample attached, Frenchman's Creek, Daphne du Maurier, The Sun is My Undoing, Marguerite Steen, Windswept, Mary Ellen Chase, Grease Pencil. Chapter 1. The day the hotel changed forever began as any other. June Porter Hudson woke before dawn in a basement apartment in the staff cottage closest to the hot springs. She climbed out of bed, displacing 3 dachshunds, 2 smooth, 1 wiry, who poured to the floor to follow her at a polite distance. She ducked beneath the clothesline hung across the room and unclipped her shirt and underwear before hanging her quilt in their place to air for the day. By the light of a single bedside lamp, she dressed in her usual attire: waist-high wide-legged slacks, a button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up neatly, a delicate wristwatch, a swipe of lipstick. Her dark hair was bobbed just below her ears, and when she was working, she slicked it back elegantly with some grooming cream. The entire look was out of step with the formal pin curls and dresses found inside the hotel, but the Rockefellers and the Roosevelts didn't expect her to look like them. She certainly didn't sound the same, not with her holler-bred accent. They were used to their hoteliers having a French accent if they had any at all, and the only French June had was "Vive l'Empereur," which one of her waiters used to hiss under his breath each time the chef came into view. It did not matter. The guests loved her anyway. After she stepped into her low-heeled Mary Jane's, June silently drank 2 full glasses of mineral water beside the kitchenette's single window. In the summer, the small, eye-level porthole offered a gray morning view of the mulch and shrubs around the porch, but now, in the winter, the dark glass merely reflected her face: wide-set eyes, arched eyebrows, lips pragmatic as a pencil. Sweetwater, that was what the locals called it, although it tasted like a split lip and a mouthful of dust. The water wasn't named for the taste. It was named for what it did to the body. What ailed you? Rheumatism, constipation, barrenness, grip, dyspepsia, malaria, biliousness, croup, homesickness, homeliness, eczema, gout? Indigestion, inflammation, apoplexy, doubt? Medical journals and medical guests debated the spring's potency, but June didn't pay them much mind. She just started and finished her day the same way, never missing those 4 glasses of mineral water. After she'd drunk hers, she poured a glass into the dachshund's bowl, fed them some meat scraps from the icebox, and then got to work. Work, work. It never ended. June oversaw 450 staff, 420 rooms, 418 acres, 212 Shropshire sheep, 110 golden delicious apple trees, 60 box stalls, 21 cottages, 7 cabins, 4 bathhouses, 3 bottling rooms, and 2 mineral streams. Every day there was staff to organize, supplies to inventory, events to execute. Each heaving breath of this expensive beast accounted to the penny, so that the Guilfoyles, who owned the hotel, were reassured that none of their fortune was having fun without them. The business of luxury. The first thing on her mind when she woke, the last thing on her mind when she went to bed. On that day, January 25th, the Avalon was hosting a tartan ball in honor of Robert Burns, a long-dead but still lauded Scottish poet. With her dachshunds in tow, June had joined her staff captain, Griff Clemens, on the ballroom balcony to observe a dress rehearsal of the technical components. The ballroom was impressive. At its center, a sweetwater fountain covered with carved rhododendron flowers filled the space with the scent of sweet earth and wildflowers. The ceiling far above bore a brilliant mural of West Virginia scenes by Susie M. Barstow of the Hudson River School. On the north wall was an enormous stage where the glamorous Geraldine Farrar had once reprised her Met role as Madama Butterfly. On the south was a fireplace taken stone by stone from the ruins of the Battlesden House, gifted by the willing Duke of Bedford's estate. During a presidential stay, Grace Coolidge had had a hand in selecting the parquet floor. Heiresses, presidents, royalty. This was the nature of the average Avalon guest. People so high on the social ladder they had to duck for the sun to go overhead. "How are your girls doing, Griff?" June asked. "Fine enough," he replied. "Your voice says otherwise." The Avalon's general manager and staff captain were an unusual pair of employees for a hotel of this status. A smiling white mountain woman and a half-sided black man. But they'd both done it the honest way, working their way up from the bottom. Neither of them was in any danger of seeing someone like themselves on a future guest list. "One of them's decided she's in love," Griff replied. "The other's got her mind on revenge." Griff's twin girls had only just turned 5. June said, "So times are tough in the Clemens household." "I thought girls were meant to be gentle." "Am I gentle?" The staff captain gave one of his eyes a pensive rub, an unthinking gesture that often punctuated his conversations. Those big hazel peepers would spare him from the draft. The left was standard issue, but the right had been merely decorative since he got kicked in the face by an irritable heifer at age 6. She was grateful. The tall, wiry staff captain was her left hand, responsible for everything that happened back of house, out of guest sight. "I'm not answering that one, Hoss." Clunks, clatters, and jingling came from below as the sounds of feast preparation escaped from the grotto. Trills and moans sounded from the orchestra pit. Most Burns night parties were humble, sitting-room ceilidhs of fiddle and pipes and haggis, but the Avalons would feature a full orchestra, hired pipe band from New York, 5-course dinner, drinks deep as the ocean. The dancing would go on until 4 or 5 in the morning. Ordinarily, it would be a modest off-season event by Avalon standards. This year, of course, was different. This would be the first party since Mr. Francis Guilfoyle, the hotel's owner and June's mentor, had died on November 7th, collapsing halfway in, halfway out of an elevator on the 4th floor. And the first since the Japanese had attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7th, plunging America into war. That made the Burns Night Ball more than a party. It made it a decision. Would parties still happen in these times? The Hotel Monthly, a publication by hoteliers for hoteliers, had recently published a 6-page feature, Defining American Luxury, presenting the Avalon as a standard most could not hope to achieve, but would do well to emulate. Its position on wartime activities would be noted and aped. And what June had decided was this. For decades, presidents, foreign dignitaries, tastemakers, and decision-makers had relied on the Avalon to be a place.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?